From the moment you arrive on earth, the moment you are born, you are told what to do, who you are, and what all this means. Before you can speak, before you can question, before you can choose, the narration begins. And most of us never notice that it's a narration at all. Dead-Eye Dick. This passage captures this perfectly. It says, "To the as yet unborn, to all innocent wisps of undifferentiated nothingness, watch out for life. I have caught life. I have come down with life." And then he describes it. "A little peephole opened quite suddenly. Light and sound poured in. Voices began to describe me and my surrounding." And here's the key line. "Nothing they said could be appealed. They said who he was, and that was that. They said where he was, and that was that. They said when he was born, and that was that. And year after year, they piled detail upon detail. They never shut up." And that's not just a novel. That's the human experience. The moment you arrive here, the world starts talking. They tell you your name. They tell you your role. They tell you what's normal, what's possible, what's realistic. And because you're young and because you're open, because you're innocent, you believe them. Not because they're right, but because they're loud enough and consistent enough. That's why a line from Alice in Wonderland hits so deeply. Alice says, "From the moment I fell down that rabbit hole, I've been told what I must do, who I must be. I've been shrunk, stretched, scratched, and stuffed into a teapot. I've been accused of being Alice and not being Alice." And then she says the line that changes everything. "But this is my dream, and I decide where it goes from here. I make the path." That's the awakening moment. The moment you realize this narration isn't law. This story isn't fixed. This is not happening to me. This is happening through me. Manifestation isn't about forcing reality. It is not about bending the universe to your will. It's about realizing you've been living inside a story you never consciously chose. And the moment you see that, you regain authority. Because meaning is not inherent, identity is not permanent, and the path is not pre-written. It is authored. Most people don't struggle because life is hard. They struggle because they are still obeying an early narration. I'm just this way. This is how life works. People like me don't get that. Those sentences feel true only because they've been repeated. But repetition is not truth. It's conditioning. The shift happens when you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "Who is speaking right now? Is this a voice I chose? Does this story serve who I am becoming?" That's when you stop being a character and become the author. Making the path doesn't mean you see the whole road. It means you choose the next step as the person you decide to be. You decide what this moment means. You decide what shapes you. You decide which voices get authority. Reality doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to identity. So yes, you were narrated into existence, but narration is not destiny. This is your dream. You decide where it goes from here. You make the path. And the moment you live from that place, life stops talking at you and starts listening. May you choose love and peace and wisdom and understanding. And may you choose to enjoy this day on your beautiful path.